He's gracious enough to join us. I'm sure he's not in the best of moods, but we appreciate his time very much. He is Jared Cannonier, who's here joining us after a disappointing night in Louisville. Jared, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. Can you even describe? We're here talking about it. We're getting fired up. This happened to you. It's totally different. It's very personal. Less than 2 days later, how are you processing what happened on Saturday night?
Well, when it happened, it's gut wrenching to say the least. It definitely took some time to collect myself. I had to go back and rewatch the fight and really relive the whole thing all over again. Really, it was really gut wrenching. It feels like the opportunity to do great things was pretty much stolen from me. Stolen from me in that moment. And you know, it's just something that, as fighters, we win and we lose, and then we have to live with it. And it's definitely not fun. Doesn't get any easier every time. But it doesn't feel like I lost the fight. I just feel like it was taken from me. You know what I mean? The opportunity to persevere, which is one thing I've done in a lot of my fights, and continue on and try to make good on the fight. You know what I mean? So gut wrenching is an understatement.
When you watch it, what are you seeing? Like when you watch that final sequence, what is your takeaway?
Well, when I watched that final sequence, when he hit me with the shot, it was a good shot, and definitely took my equilibrium away. But I was definitely in recovery mode. I had my wits about me. I was able to create some distance and then turn and face my opponent. And he, of course, he did everything he was supposed to do. He kept the pressure on and tried to mount a good offense to try to finish the fight. But I was still there. My hands were up. I was covering up most of those shots, especially in the final sequence. I even threw a counter strike, a nice clean counter strike that I think landed. And then I put my hands right back up to defend for whatever was coming next. And that's when the ref stepped in. And definitely the absolute worst time for him to step in right after I throw a shot. I'm competent. I'm competently defending myself. You know what I mean? My eyes are clear. I'm looking at my opponent. I'm creating space. I'm just intelligently trying to recover from, that sequence. So I think the ref had more elevated, was more elevated by the whole thing than I was. I was in sort of like autopilot. Okay, this is a bad situation to be in, but I've been here before, so this is where I recover and then try to mount the offense back to take the pressure off of me. So it's frustrating as hell to go back and watch it every time. I've watched it like 7 or 8 times, and it's frustrating as hell every time. I feel like I was definitely winning that fight up until that point. Nasruddin was definitely getting some momentum in that fight in the later moments of the fight, but still, I was at that moment. I was winning the fight. So again, I mean, just frustrating, gut wrenching. A lot went into this camp. It's been a long time since I've been in the octagon. It's been about a year, and it was a highly competitive fight. You know what I mean? And the opportunity to persevere, which is one thing I've always done in my fights, been able to persevere, go through that adversity, and come out, was just snatched away from me. Not to mention the chance for to get those 2 checks, my second check, my win bonus check, and probably even that moment could have made it a fight of the night. You know what I mean? Had that fight kept going, that moment could have made it a fight of the night. So it could have been a potential performance bonus. So opportunities, man. They feel like the opportunity was just taken away from me, and as well as Nasruddin. The opportunity for him to have a clean finish, a clean win, for him to go in. And instead, we have this controversy that we have to deal with. But yeah, it's just not something that nobody wants to go through. I'm sure the ref is is catching a lot of flack on this, and rightfully so, because a lot of times, there's no accountability in these situations. So it just sucks for everybody that we have to go through this, especially when it was the main event. It was a ranked middleweight fight. Um, again, I was the one who was put more at risk by taking this fight. You know what I mean? So all that just came right to the forefront of it. At that moment, all of that was just taken away. Everything that all the momentum that I had built up to this point, trying to get to the title fight, coming off of that win against Vittori last year, trying to keep that momentum going. Again, I was winning this fight up until that point. On the scorecards, I was winning. And then just everything that I went throughout this camp. This wasn't an easy camp for me. Yeah. So it just really sucks to go through this right now.
Why wasn't it an easy camp?
Well, a few reasons. During this camp, I had a medical emergency where I had a severe allergic reaction. One of the worst that I've ever had in my life. My face had swelled up on me, my tongue had swollen up on me. I had to go get some shots and stuff to get that thing fixed, and it was just really weird. It just one more thing to concern myself with during these fights. During fight camp, and on top of that, me and my wife, we were expecting, but then she had ended up miscarrying like 2 weeks before.
I'm sorry.
So, just carrying all that stuff into this fight, I really wanted to get the win. It's been a minute since I've gotten paid, you know what I mean? So I wanted to get those 2 checks. On top of that, I really wanted to to compete, you know what I mean? To have the performance that I really wanted. To go in there and fight and win on my own volition, under my own power. And if I lose the way, you know what I mean, lose like a warrior, go out on my shield. Not going out throwing punches, you know what I mean, trying to recover and having the opportunity to have that comeback moment just taken away from me. So it just wasn't an easy camp, you know what I mean? The fight wasn't easy. Nasruddin did everything he was supposed to do. It wasn't, he put up a good fight. But I felt like I was on my way to winning that fight. I was getting ready to turn the gas up in the 4th and 5th round and solidify the victory. And just take that moment was taken away from me.
Um, by the way, most importantly, I'm very sorry that you and your wife just went through that. So I hope that she's doing okay, all things considered. And everything that you lay out makes it even harder to stomach from the outside looking in. We were wondering before you came on whether you were on that show win structure, and that would make it even costlier for you. And now we find out that that is true. Is there any indication that the brass agrees that this was a horrible decision and will try to make this right to you? Do you know of any plans of doing that?
Yes, I think they're all in agreement that it was a very bad stoppage, like a horrible stoppage.
Yeah.
I think the whole world is in agreement that was the worst thing that could have happened that night. That fight ended the way it ended. So yes, they're all in agreement. As far as any compensation, I don't know. I want to petition for a rematch. The UFC is going to Paris in September. I would love to go to Nasruddin's backyard and make that right. He'll have the home field advantage. It won't be people chanting USA. It'll be champion. It'll be people chanting Frances, however
Yeah.
they say France and Spanish in French. But that's what I would like, to make that right. If that was to make that right, that's something that I would want. That a rematch in Paris. He came over here, so I'm more than happy to go over there. It wouldn't be my first time I've gone to somebody's backyard and come out with my hand raised. I've done it in Brazil. I've done it in Copenhagen. I'm more than happy to do it again in Paris. So that's something that I want. So that's something we're going to be pushing for, trying to get that rematch. Because I lost a lot in that moment. You know what I mean? I was ranked number 4. I don't know how that's going to affect the rankings. I was in good position to make this make another run for the title. I was right there at the doorstep of a title, you know. So I don't know how that's going to affect anything. But yes, the UFC brass is in agreement that that was a bad stoppage, and I hope there will be an agreement that a rematch is what's the word? Will be good compensation
Mm.
for that occurrence.
Do you
But
know if
we'll
they
see. You
are?
know, we're
Do you
talking.
know if they're interested, or is it too soon?
Initially, I've gotten well, my manager has told me that Mick is interested in it. So we'll see what happens. You know.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's a tremendous idea, and you don't have to wait too long, right? That's in 3 months. So I
Yeah.
think that that makes a ton of sense. I'm wondering, in the cage or backstage, did Jason Herzog, the referee, speak to you about the call?
No. No.
What about in the
Nobody
cage?
talked to me
No one,
in
nothing.
the cage when I like right as he stopped it. I
Yeah,
was looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
yeah.
And then he started motioning to somebody on the outside, talking about I was getting hit, and he put his hands up like I was taking shots, and he put
Saw
his
that.
hands up like, but I wasn't taking shots. But if I was taking shots, I was taking shots on my guard. He may have hit me. A few may have snuck in there, but they weren't like he wasn't knocking me down. I was moving. You know what I mean? The knee. He talked. There was talks about the knee had how the knee had landed, but the knee had landed when he was going backwards. He threw it was a switch knee. It wasn't like he was grounded and flung the knee up into my head. The knee didn't land hard at all. It didn't like add to uh, the compromised state I was in. Um, so I was pushing him off. I was getting my space. I was getting ready to clinch him up and tie him up. And then the ref, you know, I was swinging back, and we saw what happened. So no, I hadn't heard. No, nobody else has talked to me. I've only talked to my team. I talked to my manager who was in contact with the UFC, and so that's where I've been getting my information from. And of course, the internet is speaking as loudly as possible. So I'm glad that most of the world is on my side in regards to this being a bad stoppage. Um, so yeah, hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Nasruddin wasted his call out trying to call out somebody who said he's going to wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's going to need an opponent for Perry if he wants to fight in Perry. Some more, I want to. That's one. I'm the one. I'm the one. He should be. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to face.
There's so much that I hate about all of this. I hate the stoppage. I hate the fact that you were robbed of money, and I hate the fact that no one spoke to you afterwards. At the very least, you deserve a conversation. You deserve an explanation. You mentioned the word accountability. There's zero accountability in this sport. You make a call like that, you grab your bag, you head to the airport, and that's it. And yeah, there's some mean tweets sent your way, but you're the one that has to deal with the actual ramifications, the monetary ramifications. I hate the fact that you don't have to face the music. Like the promoters, you, the manager, they all have to face the music, but the officials never get to face any music of any kind. They don't have to
No,
answer questions. They
no,
don't have to face the media. They don't have to do anything. Oh, you get some mean
yeah,
tweets, and that sucks. I'm sure it does suck, but come on. You deserve, at the very least, backstage, hey, this is what I was seeing. This is what I was thinking. This is what, I'll try to do better the next time. I am sorry. Something, if he feels that way. Did you see that he tweeted something? Um,
I did see the tweet. Yeah,
and so we put it up before it seems he wrote, I get it, I know what I was seeing in the moment, but I've gotten enough feedback telling me I need to reevaluate, so I will. Your thoughts on the tweet?
it sounds like reluctance to be accountable. You know, it sounds. I sense a little bit of reluctance in that post, but also willingness to hear all the people barking in his ears. I mean, I guess you can't ignore it when the world is as upset as they are. But that thing, I think that's due to pressure. If nobody else was saying anything, he like you said, he would have just flown on home and then went on to the next one. So I don't want to sit here and trash Jason Herzog. He's one of the best referees in the game, but he definitely made a big mistake in this regard. It was a huge mistake, a grave mistake. You know what I mean? Especially as far as I'm concerned. And again, I don't know. I doubt they think about this. No, this is my career. My career was pretty much in his hands, and he decided that, you know what I mean, it ain't worth fighting for. But this is a fight. You know what I mean? And he need, I think a lot of these wrestlers need to understand that we're going to get hit. Sometimes we're going to get rocked. But when we're intelligently defending ourselves, like they always say, step aside and let this thing happen. When there's a clear and concise reason for you to step in, like my hands are down and I'm just getting hit over and over. Not my hands are up and he's hitting me on the guard and I'm swinging back. That's not the time to step in. So I don't know, maybe some emotional desensitization should be had, some training should be had, so they don't get super excited in these moments. Um, I don't know. But yes, I think that could be done. I think his response or that post could be due to social pressure as opposed to a sense of, oh damn, I fucked up. I feel bad for this guy. Um, I need to do something to make things right. It doesn't really feel like that. So I don't even know what to do with that post outside of take it as, hey man, that's somewhat, I can take it as somewhat of an emission of
Right.
fault, if you will. And at least he's willing to hear, and hopefully he won't make this mistake again. But what's done is done. I'm still here with one check in hand, another loss on my record. Um, the momentum gone. My position in the rankings could be gone. The road to the title. You know what I mean? Could be. Anyway, you know what I mean? Everybody's talking about this is my last shot at the title, but I think that's crazy talk. I'm not done. I'm still here. We're gonna go back to work, and I'm still gonna, these people still got to deal with me. So, hopefully, the next opponent will be Nasruddin in Paris, if he wants it back. Because I want that fight back. You know what I mean? I gotta do something. We have to do something to make that right.
Right.
That fight isn't finished. Um, for me, that should be the next thing. So yeah, that's what we're going to be fighting for.
I saw some people point to the fact that at one point you turned your back and tried to evade him, run away, whatever. Do you regret doing that? Do you wish you didn't do that? Do you think that that's part of the reason why he made the call?
I think I was trying to move away from my opponent so I don't continue taking shots that he so-called says that he saw. You know what I mean? You're supposed to create distance. I didn't just run away. I created, I was off balance. He hit me and I was off balance, so I had to move away. I can't just sit there in that state and just stand straight up in front of this guy. And continue him being in position, being in that boxing range. So I had to create some distance and move away. It wasn't like I was stumbling away or anything. You know what I mean? I was moving away intelligently. Uh, do I regret? No, I don't regret turning my back to move away, create space so I can get some ground, so I can stand my ground like I did. Same thing happened in the when I fought Vettori. In the beginning of that Vettori fight, he hit me, so I got some space. Yeah, I got my back up against the fence, and he kept the pressure on. And then I was able to recollect myself. And had it been Herzog in that fight and seen me moving away, and then Vettori putting his pressure on, if he would have stopped that fight in the first round, that wouldn't have been me going on to a record-breaking performance, fight of the night performance. You know what I mean? Or maybe he would have stopped it when I was beating the crap out of Vettori, and I wouldn't have had that performance. So no, I don't think that is I don't think that's if I would have ran away and then not thrown anything back, that's another story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If I would
yeah.
have run away and just covered up, no, I ran away. I was ready to start hand fighting. I was ready to clinch up with this man. I pushed him off when he threw that knee. I got some more space. He approached me again. I threw a right hook. I covered up so I don't go take any more shots. And then the ref stepped in. That's how that happened. It wasn't me running away from my opponent. How can you run away from somebody in the cage when a locked octagon? No. Create space, create distance, be smart, be safe, and then continue the fight. So that's what I was doing. I don't care what everybody else says. That shouldn't even affect the judging. That shouldn't affect the ref. the ref should see, is he intelligently defending himself? Because we've seen guys fight where they move around throughout the whole fight and the ref doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll say, hey, you need to engage, but I wasn't like running away from the engagement. I
Yeah.
was creating space so I can stay safe. And then he re-engaged and we engaged multiple times during my compromised state. So that's not running away. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in a compromised state, I'm still here fighting. And that's what I was doing. So yeah, bad call on the ref.
Yes. By the
Very
way,
bad
have
call
you
on
ever
the ref.
had any issues with Jason in the past? Not so much like beef or anything, but like where you felt like he didn't, make this right? This like have you ever had any interactions with him?
No, I don't think I I don't even think he's cornered me or not corner ref any of my fights. If he has, I can't remember.
Okay.
Um, but no, I haven't. But I think as with any ref, these things happen. It was a human error. I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
These things happen. When you're in the mix and it's a high intense moment. Um, so yeah, these things happen. It's unfortunate, but it's still no excuse that it's still no excuse that I should have to live with it. So to make it right, a rematch in Paris. I think that'll bring some more eyes to the fight, eyes to that card. It'll be good for me. I don't think Nasruddin would agree, but I don't care what he thinks. I'm sure he wants to go on to his title. He wants to fight Sean Strickland and avenge that loss, but he didn't win that fight. You know what I mean? That last sequence was me versus Nasruddin versus Jason Herzog, and Jason Herzog got the finish in that fight, not Nasruddin.
Yeah.
So if he wants to get that finish, he wants to be the one to say he finished the Killer Gorilla actually finish me. Then let's do that rematch in Paris. I'll go to your backyard and we can make it happen. So that's what I'm going to be. That's what I would like to have happen.
And I'm sure a relatively quick turnaround would be good for you because you've been out for a year. How difficult was this past year for you, not being able to compete, not being able to earn, your fight purse?
It wasn't easy at all. When I initially got the injury, it was a big opportunity on my plate that was taken away from me because of the injury. On top of that, the fight that I already had scheduled was taken away from me because of the injury. It had, and it just put a gap in between that competition. And my UFC career has been marred with injuries, like what I mean. That's been putting these big gaps in my career. And still I come back and I come back strong and I come back better. So as unfortunate as this camp has been, this whole series, this last year has been for me and my family, I'm still here and I'm still trying to get what I want out of this career. Um, yes, I would definitely like a quicker turnaround. September will be perfect. You know what I mean? Get back. I'm back in Phoenix. I'm ready to get back into the gym. It's got to be. They gave me the 30 days, but I think I'm good to go. I'm ready to get back to training, ready to get back to getting better, ready to get back to getting prepared for this these high level competitive matches. And I'm going to be training to make these matches non-competitive. So I realized, in being gone, I realized there's some things that I still need to work on, some steam that I may have lost in that whole year off. But um, dude wasn't dogging me in that fight. Everybody, dude wasn't handling me in that fight. So yeah, I'm ready to get back in there. I don't want to wait another 6 months. I certainly don't want to get injured again. But yeah, I would really like a quick turnaround for this one.
Well, I hope you get that. And I can't imagine how upset you are. I mean, just seeing you talk about it, you're pretty mild mannered. I could see how mad you are. I can't imagine what you were feeling on Saturday night. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about it. Do you feel like you got everything off your chest, or was there anything else that you wanted to say about this? I wanted to give you that opportunity.
Um, I mean, I think I said everything. Considering how hard the camp was, losing the fight in that regard, losing all that opportunity, losing that made it even worse for me. And again, this is something I'm going to have to live with, something I got to deal with on a daily basis, something I got to try to recover from, and hopefully the promotion is going to have my back, have my side in this regard, and try to make that rematch in Paris. I don't want to say if they don't, but I would definitely. I'm still here at the top. I'm still one of the best in the division, and I'm going to continue to show that. So my next fight, better watch out because I'm going to be be trying to body snatch some people out there. So Nasruddin better hope it's not him because he ain't gonna. It ain't gonna go good for him.
Thank you, Jared. Really sorry this happened, but appreciate you coming on and hope you get that fight in September in Paris.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I do appreciate you letting me come on
Of course.
and speak my heart and speak my mind and try to get some of this stuff off of my chest.
Of course. Anytime. Good luck to you. Thank you.
All right, brother. You too.
All right. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel. So please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.